Have you ever heard the advice, be yourself because everyone else is taken? Well, in low barriers to entry CPG categories like sports nutrition, following that advice too often gets overlooked, but is paramount to reaching any level of meaningful success. Just to set the tone for this content, I'm going to examine the importance of distinctiveness through a variety of popular marketing and branding strategic decisions. While I'll be using sports nutrition as the categorical lens, mostly because that focus will keep the content concise, but these insights are applicable to almost every ingestible CPG space. Moreover, I'll walk you through an unofficial business case study involving Ghost, a leading lifestyle brand that's transcending the sports nutrition industry by leveraging a distinctive identity. So, let's start off by talking about distinctiveness. It's a characteristic or prominent mental cue that helps consumers build associations with your CPG brand. Distinctiveness goes far beyond just being different or projecting an image. It's about defining and then delivering your authentic self. Because showing up as your unmistakable self isn't just a matter of brand strategy, it's critical to your commercial survival. A distinctive brand identity will almost always get you noticed, especially within extremely noisy, low barriers to entry CPG categories like sports nutrition, which is simply a sea of generic, forgettable, transient product claims, anyways. When product based differentiation proves unable to provide a long term defensible moat within the supplement industry, distinctiveness transforms a product from a commodity into a perfectly great experiential foundation for brand storytelling. Because don't get it twisted, the real competitive advantage in sports nutrition comes from a distinct strategic narrative that guides the entire internal and external business activity. It's the strategic substance with signature style that sets your CPG brand apart from the landscape of lesser alternatives. But distinctiveness is rare and difficult to achieve, as it requires both an artistic and scientific approach to create a unifying central idea for your CPG brand with the right combination and orchestration of all brand elements. And as your CPG brand attempts to gain more acceptance across the adoption curve, greater quantity and quality of those brand assets is needed to be noticed, recognized, and chosen. So let's examine the importance of distinctiveness through a variety of marketing and branding strategies that have become trendy within the sports nutrition space. And I'm going to start off with collaboration because one, many of these can be lumped into that broad grouping. Two, crucial steps are often overlooked in terms of how a brand shows up. And three, considerations usually aren't focused on how the audience experiences it. And just to get some of the definition stuff straight between co marketing and co branding, because they can often be lumped together, co marketing is where two companies collaborate on promotional efforts. Co branding is a strategic alliance that creates a new product under both names. An example of a popular co marketing campaign within the supplement industry is when a sports nutrition brand does a kind of giveaway or contest on social media with another company. From a physical retail perspective, it could be trade marketing efforts focused on a joint offer. Whether it's online or offline, the goal is to reach a broader audience by combining marketing resources, but each company maintains its distinct brand identity. There's nothing inherently wrong with those marketing tactics, but the breakdown happens when sports nutrition brands aren't intentionally seeking to optimize for their distinctiveness. So instead of understanding that even the smallest interactions are important in establishing the strategic substance with signature style that sets your brand apart from the landscape of lesser alternatives, the junior social media person selects giveaway partners only off of who has maybe the most followers, or the territory sales rep mindlessly agrees to a joint store activation because the distributor suggests it would lift sales. Now, looking at some trendy co branding efforts within the sports nutrition space, how about I start with flavor and entertainment IP licensing? In the last 8 years, licensing has exploded within the sports nutrition space to the tune of close to 400 licensed SKUs, a number that still grows weekly. Has the industry hit the point of substantial diminishing marginal returns yet with licensing? The endless digital shelf will allow for infinite licensed products in the space, but large retailers with fixed merchandising sets have already had to start applying a gatekeeper lens to this generic, forgettable, and transient product attribute. But also, there will always be substantial space in the market for sports nutrition brands that can not only define but also deliver its true self by leveraging the experiential foundation of a co branded product for authentic brand storytelling. And then one of my pet peeves that seems to only happen within the sports nutrition space is the co created products, not with a large licensor with valuable IP, but with a competitor. When utilized correctly, this co branding strategy can expand customer bases, increase sales, and even penetrate new markets or sales channels. But it only works if each brand possesses distinct and ownable aspects that, when combined, create something unique and truly valuable to the market. But have you ever noticed how much beige there is in the sports nutrition industry? You can't combine efforts of competitors when one or both hasn't even shown up yet as its unmistakable self across every brand touchpoint. So then you might be asking yourself, why do these sports nutrition brands accept swimming in the sea of sameness when distinctiveness is a powerful tool to gain a competitive edge that amplifies presence, recognition, and market share? Other than it being extremely difficult to create a unifying central idea with the right combination and orchestration of all brand elements, distinctiveness is rare and difficult to achieve because the follower mentality that plagues the sports nutrition space. We all have an inherent human tendency to look to others for information about the value of things. The follower mentality is equal parts human seeking decision making efficiency and societal desire to fit in. But the follower mentality in business can eventually be problematic because it leads to the scenario where you understand the what, but not the why behind decisions. Yet the why is where all of the distinctiveness value is generated from, which is probably a good transition into the final portion of this content, an unofficial business case study involving Ghost Lifestyle. My hope is by providing a handful of examples around how this leading lifestyle brand is leveraging a distinctive identity to transcend the sports nutrition industry, it will provide impactful contextual support to this content piece. I'm going to skip over all of the Ghost Lifestyle background information because my assumption is that most of my audience is relatively aware of this brand that was built with authenticity at its core. Ghost has a brick by brick mindset of building a distinct brand that doesn't forget about where it came from, oftentimes leading it to lean heavily into nostalgia. So let's start off by talking about cereal, which has been a theme throughout the entire brand lifecycle of Ghost. And it begins with Ghost co founder Dan Lorenzo, that self describes himself as a cereal aficionado. You've seen his love for the breakfast item during the Behind the Brand YouTube content. When Ghost Whey launched, it didn't initially come in industry standard chocolate or vanilla. The first flavor was called cereal milk. Moreover, Ghost celebrates National Cereal Day annually and launched several LTO cereal related tchotchkes like bowls throughout the years. Fast forwarding to this past April, Ghost finally entered the functional foods category, and they could have gone with the easiest form factor like protein bars, but that wouldn't have been distinctive enough or authentic to their brand story. Instead, Ghost spent considerable R&D time to perfect its protein cereal in partnership with General Mills, even getting authorization to utilize real Lucky Charms marshmallows. But that's just one of the many ways Ghost has orchestrated different distinct brand elements centered around a product category or attribute that transforms them from a commodity into a perfectly great experiential foundation for brand storytelling. Another thoughtful area to building distinctiveness would be when Ghost selects co marketing partners. The first example that jumps off the page for me is the brand's very intentional decision to pick hockey and that specific team when first moving into sports marketing. Hockey is a sport that played a huge role within the Behind the Brand YouTube series, with both co founders playing in adult leagues for years with friends in Las Vegas and Chicago. Over the years, you've also had Ghost launch several hockey themed apparel items, but it culminated with the Las Vegas Knights sponsorship, the first pro sports team that was born in Las Vegas, where Ghost was conceptualized and originally launched. Since that partnership was created, Ghost now has added a branded lounge experience in the arena that really helps bring the brand alive in a non CPG product kind of way. Similarly, when Ghost decided to jump into large scale event sponsorships, it was very thoughtful in selecting its first music festival. Again, within the Behind the Brand YouTube series, the music chosen in episodes always had a certain emo music feel that nostalgically connects with Ghost founders. So it makes the When We Were Young Music Festival a perfect fit and gave Ghost the opportunity to build a whole experiential marketing activation that transports fans back to its teen angst memories that impacted many elements of the brand. Finally, let's cover maybe the most widely copied co branding strategy that Ghost pioneered within the sports nutrition space. From flavor to entertainment IP licenses, Ghost has always been very intentional in selecting who to work with to support or elevate its distinctiveness. And a great example would be with the entertainment IP licensing decision of working with Warner Brothers on Space Jam. Though the timing aligned with the LeBron James version, Ghost only wanted access to the old 1996 movie assets, including Looney Tunes cartoon characters in their original jerseys. This decision had layers, mostly because the nostalgic connection was to the original Space Jam story, but also the main Ghost headquarters is in Chicago that connects to the Michael Jordan version. They successfully brought that co branding to life with careful planning, meticulous coordination, and trust among its partners. But I just wanted to end with some quick final thoughts. In today's crowded marketplace, being different is not enough. You need to be distinctive. Brand distinctiveness helps consumers recognize your brand quickly and easily, even when they're not actively looking for it. Moreover, distinctive branding makes it difficult for consumers to copy, and it can trigger emotional responses, which are key drivers of purchasing decisions. In essence, brand distinctiveness leverages our brain's visual processing, memory recall, and resistance to change in emotional responses to create a memorable and protective brand identity. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting that like button to support me. Also, help me get to my new short-term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that slightly more than 90% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.